Hey guys, Turret here bringing you this third installment of micro tips and tricks for Company of Heroes 2. As usual, I'll be starting out with the easiest tips and working up to the toughest ones at the end. So if you select your base structure, you should see this green dotted line. This line represents the edge of the reinforcement radius, so inside the circle you can reinforce your troops and outside it you cannot.
We stop here.
However, for the two vanilla factions, Soviet and Wehrmacht, that have to build their tech structures, you can also reinforce off those built tech structures to a similar radius that the base tech structure has.
We are on the way.
If you keep an eye on the reinforce button in the UI, you can see that you can use this trick to reinforce even slightly outside the base sector.
Stopping. Destination confirmed. That is far enough, men.
This is great because it means you can reinforce your troops as they run back onto the battlefield instead of just waiting around, though if your squad has taken health damage, you may want to stick around to let them heal up first. Also try to build the tech structure towards the direction you'll be exiting your base most frequently for maximum effect.
Come, engineer.
Next up, planting mines. Whilst planting a mine, and once you have completed planting the mine, you'll notice the squad adopts a very unique clustered up formation. Compare this to the regularly spaced squad on the right. This formation is a dead giveaway to your opponent that you have just completed a mine, and they are likely to defuse it by either using attack ground or sending over a sweeper. Or even worse, if you recently completed a mine and an enemy vehicle rolls up, you could lose both the mine and the squad that planted it. Instead, queue up a command after planting the mine by holding shift whilst issuing that command, such as taking cover nearby or maybe going to cap a point. This way you are better prepared for an engagement and you avoid wasting that mine. Next up, getting 2 rapid shots off with certain indirect fire units. So here we have a pack howitzer shooting away at its normal rate as if it was auto attacking, or perhaps you are using attack ground. As you can see, there is quite a long delay between each shell being fired. So what you can do to get 2 shots off in quick succession is wait for an auto attack to be fired, and then immediately as it leaves the gun, use a barrage. This bypasses the usual reload time, allowing for 2 very quick shots. This trick can also be applied to the infantry support gun and the howitzer motor carriage. And the last tip for today, putting wire on building doors. So everyone knows that wire is very important to deny cover to your opponent, but it is also good for denying or manipulating travel routes of infantry. Here is a commonly used piece of wire on Angeville in hopes of denying this building to the northern spawn opponent. But the real purpose of this video is to show the different effects of wire used on doors. Note that this building has 2 doors, and we are going to be placing a single piece of wire on this door. Note to alter your camera angle, hold Alt whilst moving your mouse in a particular direction, and then to reset the camera angle, hit backspace twice. Now with the wire blocking this door, my pioneers want to pass to the other door to enter the building. Note that they can also no longer exit from that door. So this can be a quick way of causing a pretty large inconvenience to your opponent. However, now when we put a similar piece of wire on the other door, you can get in and out from either side. So you cannot block entry to a building in this fashion, and your opponent could put down a piece of wire of their own to counter your wire. This style of wire can also be used to change the spawn of infiltration units. Note that partisans will usually spawn from the door in the north.
You need something demolished? We will have it.
Now with the wire on their usual spawn, they come out of the other door. Using wire like this can be useful to set up traps on your opponent's infiltration unit. Note if you use this wire to block every door in a building, such as on this 1 door building, it will stop neither entry or exit, nor the spawn of infiltration units.
In the structure. You need something demolished?
Partisans have joined the fight.
So here we are on the map Fameville approach with another single door garrison. This time we're going to be using 2 pieces of wire in a triangular shape across the door. Once again, I recommend changing the camera angle to make placing the wire easier.
Let's tear up the enemy with some barbed wire.
Here you can see it from a top view. Note now I can enter the garrison, but when I try to exit, I get stuck in the small triangular space. Now you can safely pick away at this squad from a distance with something like a mortar, or they have to make some emergency measures to try and break the trap, such as bring in a wire cutter or a vehicle to crush the wire. Alternatively, they may recognize the trap, and now they are unable to use this building, in this particular case looking over your fuel, making it much harder to harass your fuel, still a net gain. You can also use this 2-piece wire trap against infiltration units. Now they are trapped, you can come back and kill them at your leisure. That's it for this installment, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe and share it with your friends, but not with your enemies.